Hi, this is Michael Goldberg, and welcome to the very first episode of Serial Scoop Now. We'll be featuring brand new interviews, red carpet premieres, and much, much more. So visit us at serialscoop.com. On today's show, we're at the very first screening of Wait the Series, and we're featuring series creator Daryn Strauss, as well as star Martha Byrne, and a host of other daytime stars in the community who are attending the event here in New York City. We'll see you inside. I am with Daryn Strauss, creator of Wait the Series. Daryn, tell me, what was the inspiration of the show?
Well, a few inspirations, actually. I mean, I think that I'm very inspired by the things that make people act totally crazy. I wrote a series called Downsized not too long ago, and it was about how money makes people act crazy and desperate and do really crazy things. And so weight is another one of those things that when weight is involved, people act a little nuts. And so I wanted to do a show about a woman who loses an enormous amount of weight, but and then has to deal with all the crazy reactions of everybody else. And then I thought, well, what would be the one thing that how would that happen, basically? And then I realized all of these reality shows where people go off and lose 100 pounds in a span of 3 months away from their family, and became completely fascinated by that entire phenomenon, and that's how the show began.
And why was Martha Byrne the perfect person to cast in the lead role?
Well, the funny thing is that I know Martha because I'm a huge soap fan. Like from childhood, watched soaps, loved soaps, lived for soaps, watched it with my best friend every day. And so I knew Martha and loved her work. When I knew she was right for this role, I was at the Indie Soap Awards where she was hosting, actually, which is so funny. And what I noticed from her is I knew she was a great dramatic actress, and I knew she was capable of being funny. But when she was being herself, she just had this really natural sense of humor about herself that I just watched her at the award ceremony, and I was like, she's Claire. And I just knew.
Any favorite Lily scene from As the World Turns?
Favorite Lily scene? Well, I like the one to go flashback when she found out that she was adopted. We have Lisa Brown here tonight, and I'm obsessed with her too. She was so amazing in that scene, and that was, I think, an iconic, incredible moment. And then I loved she did a weight storyline on As the World Turns as well, where she was addicted to diet pills, and she was great on that. She's great. I mean, she's so good. She's so good.
Why do you think this series is going to resonate with viewers?
I think everybody has some weird weight story. Everybody has dealt with crazy reactions from their family when weight is involved. I know that when I go to family dinners, there's that moment where we're all on a diet for like 5 seconds, like we're all at the dinner table deciding what diet we're going to be on, and we all decide, and then nobody does it, or one person does it, and the next time you come to another family event, one person is super thin and everybody else looks like we normally look. So I think everybody has that dynamic in their family and with their friends, and I think they'll relate to it.
Sounds great to me. And we always get jealous of the thin ones to come to the family reunion.
That's true. Yeah. And that happens with this. She's got a sister who was always the thin sister, and she comes home and deals with the kind of dynamics between, where she's no longer the thin sister anymore. They're both thin. And so, yeah, there's jealousies, there's excitement over it, there's the weirdness with your romantic relationships. Your body changes a little bit, and what does that mean when you're being intimate and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of fun stuff to deal with.
Sounds exciting to me. When is it going to premiere? Do we have the date?
Well, so we are in discussions with a lot of places, and so we don't have a date yet. But there should be some good news coming up soon that we can share with all the fans.
I am here with Martha Byrne, the star of Wait the Series. Martha, tell me about the show.
It is a story about Claire, who lost 100 pounds on a reality show and now has to go back into her life and try to figure out her marriage, her home life, her children, and it's a comedy, but it's really a dramedy. There's a lot of emotional pieces to the show.
What was it about the show that drew you to it?
I've read a lot of scripts in my life, and I laughed out loud when I read the scripts. It takes a lot to make me laugh because I come from a very funny family background, and I just couldn't believe what I was reading on the page, how funny it was. So I thought, if it's that funny on the page, what's it going to be like to actually play this part. So I think we hit every nail on the head as far as getting the moments and the comedy and the fun, and I'm just thrilled. It took a long time. It took 3 years to actually get this made.
How does it feel to be one skitty bitch in the teaser, as it says?
I am one skinny bitch, but there's only one way to become a skinny bitch, is that if I got my trainer, you'll see Dee kicking my ass on a daily basis. We barely got through that scene, and you could hear chuckles off camera of people watching us film the scenes, and we kept our straight faces to make sure we got the good stuff. But yeah, it's great, it's fun.
Martha, tell me about the cast of Wait.
Well, we are so fortunate to have Allison Smith, who was from West Wing, and we were in Annie together on Broadway. Her brother married my cousin, so we're related by blood. We have Peyton Ella, who was in Sound of Music with Michael Park. We have Bradley White, who was from Mad About You. Dee Freeman, who plays my trainer from Pretty the Series, and we have an amazing cast. And we put this together. None of us worked together before. We didn't audition. We just kind of put the pieces together, and somehow it gelled. Somehow it all worked, and that's magic. That's when it happens.
I am here with Sayre at Wait the Series, at the event Wait the Series, the screening. And
it's a weighty event.
It is a very weighty event.
Feel the gravitas in the room.
Yes. Now, as an actress, have you ever had to deal with, well, of course you're an actress.
Yes.
As an actress, have you ever had to deal with weighty issues?
Oh my God, all the time. I mean, that's sort of the bane of my existence, is worrying about my size, because I tend to be someone who is a little more curvy. I'm not like a bony, skinny person, so it takes a lot for me to stay that way, or get that way, stay that way, maintain it. And it's pretty stressful, I would say. There's a lot of pressure on women in the business to be thin. Not so much on the boys.
Yes. Oh no, there's pressure, but
not so much on the boys.
Yeah, I agree with that. So what else is going on in the life of Sayre right now, other than being a super mom extraordinaire?
Well, I am a super mom, and school just started, so I'm, getting back into the routine of that, but also trying to juggle, auditions, and booked a pilot over the summer that didn't get picked up. Story of my life. I don't know if you or anyone else out there knows this, but I play Mrs. Claus at Christmas time for different fancy events, and I'm booking those right now.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't recognize me.
Well, I
love it.
Well, I just have to go back to you mentioning that you are considered curvy in this industry. You look beautiful and skinny to me right now.
Thank you. Well, I happen to be of the opinion that curvy is sexy and is beautiful, and I think, unfortunately, the camera is cruel. So you have to be exaggeratedly thin to look normal on camera often. But I don't go crazy. I don't think you need to go crazy. I like my body. I like my figure. I like being a woman.
Yeah. Finally, any special Lily Mitzi memories from the past?
So many. Oh my gosh. I'm put on the spot. Let me see.
I know, right? Isn't that awful?
Well, I would say the thing that comes out in my head first and foremost is the time that early on, when I was first on the show, I was scheduled to, Mitzi was scheduled to pop out of a big birthday cake, like stripper style, but totally innocent, at Jake's bachelor party. And that was really fun, except that I never got to, because they replaced me with a drag queen as a joke on Jake. So I never got to jump out of the cake, but I did get to get in it in my little outfit. And that was so fun.
So you're willing to...
A lifetime goal fulfilled.
Yes. Can you jump out of a cake right now?
Ta-da!
Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome, Michael.
So you are a big Broadway star now.
Yes. I'm not a big Broadway star. That is baloney. If there are B-list Broadway stars, I would be maybe a C-list Broadway star. Star is a subjective term, right?
Well, we consider you a star, so
Thank
just
you.
go for it.
I
Okay,
will.
go with it.
I'll
Okay.
accept that.
So you just shot something on Chicago PD, is that correct?
Yes, I was in like a 3-show stint on Chicago PD. I worked a lot with John Sayre, who's a fantastic actor. Worked with Annie Parise on The Pacific. So we talked a little bit about that.
Jack and Julia reunion.
Yeah, in a very odd way. Yeah.
She didn't tie you up this time, right?
No,
And didn't.
not that I know of. I might have had amnesia.
Yeah, that could have happened. Okay. What else is happening with Michael Park right now?
We had our first rehearsal for Peter Pan Live on NBC December 4th, everybody, with Christopher Walken and Christian Burl, Allison Williams, Kelly O'Hara, everybody. Everybody that I know of and I admire in the Broadway community is pretty much a part of the show, so I'm excited about that.
Great. Would you ever return to daytime soaps?
It would. Yeah, well, you never say never, is all I'm going to say. And I'm glad that I'm just so glad that my friends, particularly Maura West, is having such a great run right now on General Hospital, and I miss her so much. So there's that. I would go to General Hospital to have a short little stint with Maura, again and again and again.
Very nice to meet you.
Mr. Goldberg, I'm glad
Yes.
to go to Ireland with you.
Yes, I would love
Let's
to.
go to Ireland together, darling.
Can we do it right now?
Yes, up on the Cnukeen. One of my first jobs as right out of drama school, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, was to play Playboy of the Western World. That's Althea.
Yeah. Right. And I have to say, do you know, or I have to tell you, The Doctors is the hot new soap now on television again?
Martha told me and sent me a link, and I saw a scene with me and Nick Bellini and Bethel Leslie, and I thought we looked pretty good. I thought we looked kind of normal, like real people who might like each other.
Dr. Althea knew exactly what she was doing. She was a tough cookie.
Dr. Althea was a good girl and always getting into trouble. And did I get an Emmy for her? I think I did. And I got an Emmy for Mrs. Woodrow Wilson. And with 9 nominations, 8 consecutive for Lucinda, I never got the Emmy. I think they didn't want me to get it. But Lucinda was a bad girl and kind of doing the right thing. And I always wanted to win for her so that I could say, the good girl and the bad girl, we're together, honey.
Now, you had Rita Lakin as your head writer on The Doctors.
At one point, yes.
Oh, and Douglas Marland, head writer for As Returns.
Douglas Marland written me off The Doctors.
He wrote you off The Doctors.
Oh, yes. But never mind.
Okay.
We move on. I came back because I ended up at the end of The Doctors. They just couldn't do without me. They had to have me back.
Well, no one could do without Elizabeth Hubbard. So just tell me, in terms of writing, favorite writer you've had in all of your daytime years, favorite storylines?
It depends on what we're talking about. The character of Lucinda, I always used to think of her as a linchpin character. You can bring anybody in. You can go to, anywhere. You can go to, Syria. And in fact, I got terrible reviews because I went someplace in Costa Rica, Lucinda, and I thought I'd wear the, army fatigues, do the best you can. And I got a letter saying, "You're disgusting. How dare you make fun of army fatigues," or something like that. I thought she was doing the best she could in a bad situation. So Lucinda was always setting things up for other people. And, I'm good at that. One young lady left us at 17, came back 3 years later as a doctor who'd already done her residency. And it's Lucinda's job to say, "Honey, it's wonderful what, expedited education you look." I did a lot of that. And I always wanted more insight into her heart.
Right.
And actually, I got it. They made the cancer story, not for me, but in order to bring on another character to be her nurse. Okay, all right. But I took it very, very seriously, as I think you would if you're going to, I was ready to shave my hair, by the way.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me. And I'm sort of glad they didn't. And Jennifer Landon, she wanted to shave her hair too. And we thought that would be a good idea. One for cancer and one a young girl wanting to be stylish. But they didn't. They didn't do that. But I took that story very, very seriously, and I wish that they had been a little more serious with it. But the character of Lucinda got what she wanted her whole life, which was love. And she got it from her two daughters. And I just praise my daughter, both daughters, Mary Beth, no, Mary.
Yeah. The last actress.
They did it, you know, and I had something real and something important for the character to play, because she was an abandoned child, you know, to get it. That was very satisfying.
The current story right now on The Doctors.
Oh, it's running on the thing.
Yeah, it's running on Retro TV.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about what's happening with Althea?
I just saw that, and between you and me, I couldn't remember she was pregnant. I mean, give a girl a break.
Yeah.
But since she said she was, I believed she was. And there's Nick Bellini, so I knew it had to be him. And now that you have asked me, you've jogged my memory. They were going to have, he was leaving the show, I think, and they were going to have him leave, I don't know, some reason because I was pregnant and I was ugly or something.
Right.
I said, no, wait a minute, I'm staying. Have him leave because he's weak and can't face it. And I think that's what they did. In other words, have him leave as a man who just can't get there. By the way, Gerald Gordon and I remained friends for years. And I used to call on him to take me to the Emmys, all those Emmy parties, all those Emmy dresses. And he would, and you know, he was a real pal. And my son was reminding me, he's obviously, Gerald liked to go to Vegas, because he would call me at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm an early riser, and he'd know I'd be there because he's just coming home from Vegas. And that was nice. We were friends.
That's exciting. I just have to ask you one more thing very quickly. Any projects in the work? We all miss you. We want to see you on TV, other than, of course, The Doctors.
Well, of course, I'm out there. You know, your old actors like generals don't fade away. And I've been doing a lot of different things, putting things in order in my mind. And actually, one of the most interesting things I've been doing, I'm in Connecticut at a maximum security prison. I have been helping the guys with Shakespeare. And since this happens to be a great love, and, you know, Royal Academy of Dramatic Art and blah, 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 and all those, Robert Shaw, all those wonderful actors I've worked with. And I have enjoyed that. And they're not going to, they're in the Slammer, but they want enthusiasm, they want nourishment. And at one point I said, am I talking too much, guys? They said, no, please talk. And they're smart, and I'm very pleased that I think that we had some rapport and rapprochement that was positive. And I think we need more. I'd like to do more of that. But I'm ready to act. Write music.
We are ready to see you. Well, there you have it. Wait, this series was fantastic. We will keep you updated on when it is going to premiere. I'm Michael Goldberg for Serial Scoop Now. We'll catch you later.